We're halfway into the 28th meeting of the UN Climate Change Conference, COP28, taking place in the UAE this year. But climate talks that are seemingly more urgent than ever are in a murky middle ground regarding climate goals. For more, let's turn to Dr. John Mutter this morning. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Dr. Mutter, there was an agreement on a loss and damage deal. The leaders also pledged to triple renewable generation capacity by 2030. What other breakthrough achievements would you highlight?
I can't think of any. And the problem is that although countries honestly make commitments to do certain things by certain times, they really don't know how to do it. You know, we could talk about a 1.5 degree target or a 2 degree target, but nobody actually knows how to meet those targets.
Right, so that's exactly why there are concerns that this year's UN climate talks may not produce the first global agreement to, phase out fossil fuel use. What's the struggle here? Is it because it's being held in a major oil producer? What do you think?
The fact that it's been held in Dubai is, what can I say? It's bizarre. It's a major oil producing region. The chair is, a senior person in the development of oil in the Emirates. There's two things here. One is to say, this is ridiculous because, 90% of people would say we have to reduce fossil fuels. The other perspective is to say, well, we really need to engage the oil industry. If we make them enemies, there's just going to be a standoff. So, how can we join with these big companies to do something important for the planet?
Right. In the meantime, though, it is almost official that this year, the year of 2023, will be the hottest year on record. What is it, Dr. Mutter, do you think the leaders at the climate summit must come to agree on this at this year's meeting, although there are much pessimistic opinions on the summit for now?
Yeah, agreeing on temperature limits is very good, but we need to agree on some sort of technological pathway. It's all about how we reduce emissions, how we capture emissions that have already happened. We need to push the technologies that do that, rather than just make vague claims about how we're going to get to some temperature target, net zero, when we don't know how to do it.
Right. Now, we are speaking about the COP28, and I cannot help but talk about or address the summit's president, whose recent remarks were seen as quite controversial. So he said there is no science behind the demand to phase out fossil fuels to keep global warming below 1.5 degrees Celsius, like you mentioned earlier. Dr. Mutter, what's your take on the comment?
He's wrong. He's quite simply wrong. 99% of all climate scientists would tell you that he's wrong. And I don't know where he gets his opinion from. It's certainly not from a dispassionate, close examination of the science. It's an opinion. It's not something that comes from a review of the scientific literature. That's not what he's done.
Right, that's why it's remaining still controversial. Dr. Mutter, before I let you go, Russian President Vladimir Putin also made it to Dubai on the occasion of the climate summit over in UAE. How active would you say Russia is in tackling global climate issues?
Very modestly. Their economy very much depends on the extraction and sale, export of fossil fuels. It would be a big blow to the Russian economy if really serious reductions in carbon dioxide emissions from fossil fuel burning were seriously curtailed. I mean, their economy depends on it, and they don't have too many alternates to what the economy depends on right now.
Right, like I mentioned, we are halfway into the summit. We still have a couple of days to really come to an agreement on those ditching fossil fuels. For the next few days, Dr. Mutter, what do you think will be the hottest topic at the summit?
It'll be the same topic that's been the hottest topic on all the summits. Should be the temperature target, but it's probably not the right thing to do. We should have technology targets. We should have, how many direct air capture systems should we be putting in place? The temperature targets, I think, are deceptive. Nobody knows how to meet them, but we know about engineering, and we know about economics, and we know how to make progress. But nobody that I know in my field is particularly impelled by the idea that at Paris, the temperature target went down from 2 degrees to 1.5 degrees. That did not motivate anybody that I know.
Right. Hopefully, maybe there will not be an agreement, but maybe some sort of fruitful outcomes of that summit. Thank you so much for your insight, Dr. Mutter, this morning. You have a great evening.
Thank you very much. I'm pleased to be on the show.